Cool. Hello. I hope you can hear me okay. So I dressed up. I was going to be Ursula for my meetings. I had 3 meetings today. And somebody made a very helpful, very interesting comment to say that I should just read to you guys as the characters. So, since I am Ursula, we're going to read the Storybook Treasury. Now, I have to stand up to get closer to the mic so you guys can see the pictures. But yeah, there are 4 stories in here. A Whale of a Tale, Charmed, Stormy the Seahorse, and Sebastian's Medal of Honor. Starting with A Whale of a Tale. You guys see that okay? One beautiful summer afternoon, a family of whales were swimming and playing near the surface of the sea. Suddenly, they heard sailors calling from a whaling ship. "Whales! Whales! After them!" the sailors shouted. As the ship raced towards them, the whales swiftly swam away. Soon they had escaped the ship, but in the confusion, one little whale was left behind. Alone and frightened, it swam in circles, crying for its mother. Ariel and Flounder were playing nearby when they heard the little whale's cries. "Listen, Flounder, I think someone is calling for help," Ariel said. "We'd better go see." "It sounds to me like someone is calling for lunch," Flounder gulped, but Ariel was already swimming toward the sound. "Ariel, wait!" Flounder called, racing after her. As he zipped around a rock, he came face to face with the little whale. "Ah! Whale! A killer whale!" Flounder shrieked. Just then, Ariel appeared. "Oh, isn't he an adorable little fellow?" she said. "Little? Adorable?" Flounder gulped. "His teeth are bigger than I am." The little whale snuggled close to Ariel and whimpered. "Oh, Flounder, he's lost and sad," Ariel said, stroking the whale's nose. "I'm going to name him Spot and take him home with me. You can be his big brother. We'll be his family." "Well," Flounder said thoughtfully, "that does sound nice." As Ariel and Flounder started to lead the little whale home, they saw Sebastian heading their way. "Uh-oh," Ariel said. "Hurry, Flounder, we have to hide Spot. If Sebastian sees him, he'll really be angry." Quickly, Ariel sneaked Spot into her room and hid him beneath her bed covers. "Ariel, where have you been?" Sebastian asked, entering Ariel's room. "I've been looking for you everywhere. It's time to practice for the big spring celebration." Just then, Spot made a funny noise. "What's that sound?" Sebastian asked, pulling back the covers. "What is this whale doing in here?" he yelled when he saw Spot. "He followed me home," Ariel explained. "I'm going to keep him." "And I'm going to be his big brother," Flounder chimed in. "Are you both crazy?" Sebastian shouted. "Whales aren't house pets. I'm going to tell the king." "Oh, please, Sebastian. Spot won't survive on his own," Ariel cried. "Please don't tell." "Okay, I won't tell," Sebastian agreed with a sigh. "But if your father finds out about this, I'm crab cakes for sure." "Thank you," Ariel exclaimed, hugging Sebastian. As Spot leapt happily, his huge tail smacked Sebastian across the room. Soon it was time for the spring celebration. "Stay here, Spot. I'll be back soon," Ariel told the little whale as she and Flounder left for the concert. When they arrived, Sebastian was on stage singing. King Triton listened politely to Sebastian's song. Spot left Ariel's room to peek in on the concert. It was lucky for Spot that nobody noticed him watching the performance. A snappy chorus sang along with Sebastian. Soon the whole audience was singing and clapping along. What a show! It was one of Sebastian's best concerts. Spot listened to the music. It was so bright and lively. He began to sing along. Then he swam right into the concert hall. Suddenly, to Sebastian's surprise, Spot was on the stage singing right along at the top of his voice. Then Spot began to dance to the music too. Back and forth his huge tail went, keeping time with the beat. Faster and faster went the music. Faster and faster went Spot's enormous tail. Crash! Spot's tail hit a column, knocking it over. Thunk! He accidentally smashed another column. As the concert hall began to crumble, everyone ran out. The concert was over. King Triton was furious. The whole palace could have been destroyed by that whale, he shouted at Ariel. Spot didn't mean any harm, Ariel protested. He just loved the music so much. He got too excited. I understand, Triton replied more gently, but a palace is no place for a whale. He doesn't belong here. He'll have to leave. But Daddy, Spot doesn't know how the real whales live, Ariel pleaded. He can't survive on his own. Then you and Flounder and Sebastian will have to teach him how, Triton replied, and I'm giving you just 2 weeks. Oh boy, Sebastian groaned. Now we're in over our heads, that's for sure. The next day, Ariel, Sebastian, and Flounder began Spot's lessons. Spot, you must learn to protect yourself against sharks, Sebastian explained. So Flounder is going to pretend to be a shark. When you see him coming, bump him with your head and bang him with your tail. Flounder made a fierce face. Here comes the terror of the deep. Flounder, the tiger shark, he shouted, swimming straight at Spot. Poor little Spot took one look at Flounder and was terrified. With a fearful cry, he started racing towards the palace. Spot! Spot, come back! Ariel cried, swimming after him. Flounder and Sebastian hurried close behind. Wow, I must have been really scary, Flounder said, just a bit proudly. I just don't think Spot understands, Ariel answered sadly. Oh, how are we going to help him learn? It was almost bedtime when they reached home. Poor Spot, you look so tired, Ariel said. I'll put you to bed. But Sebastian shook his head. Spot can't sleep in your room anymore, he told Ariel. Whales sleep outdoors. How are you going to teach him to live in the sea if you're going to treat him like a baby? You're right, Sebastian, Ariel agreed sadly. But if Spot has to stay outside, then I'm staying with him. Me too, Flounder piped in. I think you're both crazy, Sebastian fussed. But somebody has to keep an eye on you. I guess I'll stay outside with you too. Ariel, Flounder, and Sebastian snuggled up in Spot's fins. Soon they were all asleep. In the morning, the threesome took Spot for another lesson. Come on, let's try that shark fighting part again, Sebastian said. But Spot just wanted to play. Suddenly, without warning, 3 ferocious sharks attacked the little group. Swim, Flounder, Ariel yelled. Swim, Spot! But the sharks came closer every second. Head for cover, Sebastian shouted, leading his friends into a large shell. But the sharks just ripped the shell open with their sharp teeth. Ariel, Flounder, and Sebastian were surrounded. Help! Help! Flounder yelled as the sharks snapped their huge jaws and lunged at them. Suddenly, Spot knew what to do. Pow! He banged the sharks with his head. Thump! He smacked them with his tail. Quickly, the sharks fled. Spot, you saved our lives, Ariel, Flounder, and Sebastian shouted. As they cheered, a pod of whales swam by. Spot gave a happy cry of recognition. Ariel and her friends hugged Spot goodbye. Go be with your family, Ariel said. But remember, we'll always be your friends. Then, with a happy farewell, a flip of his tail, the little whale went home where he belonged. The next story is Charmed. Ariel, the little mermaid, was lonely. Her friend Flounder had been swimming around with some fish from his school all day. Sebastian had been working on composing a new song, and her father, well, he was always busy. In fact, he'd been so busy recently that he had practically spent no time at all with the Little Mermaid. Suddenly, Ariel had an idea. When Ariel arrived at the palace, her father was in the midst of judging an octopus arm wrestling match. Ariel, cried King Triton, what a pleasant surprise! I just wanted to see if you could go for a swim, replied the little mermaid. King Triton did not want to spend some time with her, or did want to spend some time with her, but being a king was no easy task. I'm sorry, King Triton replied. I have to finish my work here. Maybe we can go out later. That's all right, Ariel sighed as she swam away. I was just hoping we could spend time together. Outside the palace, Ariel decided to go exploring, so she headed toward the old sunken ship. Suddenly, she heard a little gurgle behind her. When she turned to see what it was, there was Flounder. Boo, said Flounder with a giggle. Did I scare you, huh? Did I? Ariel wasn't scared, but she sure was glad to see her good friend again. Come with me to explore that sunken ship, she said. I'll bet it's filled with lots of human things. Sure enough, Ariel and Flounder soon found themselves discovering lots of interesting things inside the sunken ship. Flounder found a funny moving picture that made faces back at him. Ariel found a round piece of glass on a stick. Flounder, look what I found, she cried. When I look through it, it makes everything look big. Wow, said Flounder. What do you call that thingamajigger? Said Ariel. I think I'll call it a bigger-majigger. Giggling, the two friends returned to the palace with Ariel's bigger-majigger. Ariel and Flounder were in Ariel's room playing with her bigger-majigger when King Triton came in. Quickly, Ariel hid the human object under her tail. Ariel, said King Triton, I've been thinking about what you said, about not spending enough time together. And Ariel, what are you hiding beneath your tail? Nothing, Daddy, said Ariel. Ariel, King Triton boomed. Tell me, what are you hiding? It's a bigger-majigger, Ariel confessed as she pulled the strange object out from under her tail. Another human thing? In my palace, said King Triton. Ariel, I've told you not to play with human things. Then, with a single swoop of his trident, King Triton destroyed the bigger-majigger and left Ariel's room. Close to tears, Ariel hurriedly swam away from the palace with Flounder. Oh, he makes me so angry, Ariel cried. Oh, don't be mad, said Flounder, trying to comfort his friend. Well, I am, said Ariel. He wouldn't even let me explain. He just wants to make sure you're safe, explained Flounder. I am safe, said Ariel, and I'm so safe I never get to have any fun. Meanwhile, King Triton was in the royal barber shop getting his hair cut. The Sea King sighed. He had meant to tell Ariel that he wanted to spend more time with her, but instead he had ended up destroying her human bigger-majigger in a fit of anger. Sebastian, those human things can lead to the ruin of merpeople, said King Triton. Why won't Ariel just leave them alone? Why is she so fascinated with these human things? She's stubborn, answered Sebastian. It runs in the family. I suppose it does, laughed the king. I'd better apologize to her as soon as she gets home. Flounder, look, cried Ariel. The two friends had swum into the edge of a deep abyss. A sparkling golden thing had caught Ariel's eye. I'm going to swim down there and see what it is, Ariel said excitedly. Ariel, said Flounder, I'm not sure that's such a good idea. It looks kind of dark down there. Oh, Flounder, don't be such a guppy, said Ariel. Ariel swam closer to the edge of the abyss and reached out for the shiny object. She saw that there were, in fact, two shiny objects. One large, round one, and another little golden one resting on a rock nearby. Although Ariel didn't know it, one of the objects was a charm bracelet, and the other was the key that unlocked the clasp to the bracelet. As Ariel reached for the bracelet, the key was swept deeper down into the dark abyss. This must be a human girl, Ariel cried excitedly as she looked at the ballerina charm on the bracelet. And this must be a human boy, she said, pointing to a teddy bear charm. He looks, well, he looks as if he has a nice personality. My goodness, my phone. As she gazed at the pretty charm bracelet, Ariel began to wonder what humans did with this magical golden thing. She began testing it in different ways. She tried to put it in her hair, but it was too small. She tried to put it on her finger, but it was too big. She tried putting it in her mouth, but it didn't taste very good. Finally, she slipped it over her wrist. Look, Flounder, she cried, it fits! But as soon as she had spoken, Ariel realized that although the thing had easily slipped onto her wrist, she couldn't seem to slip it back off. Uh-oh, said Flounder. Back at the palace, King Triton was practicing his apology with Sebastian. Ariel, King Triton recited, I'm sorry I destroyed your Bigamajigger, your highness, said Sebastian. What a silly name, said Triton. Can't I just say, Ariel, I'm sorry, but human things are dangerous, and as your father, I know what's best. Therefore, I forbid you. Sebastian sighed. That wasn't a very good apology, was it, Sebastian? Asked King Triton. Well, your majesty, if I may be so bold, said Sebastian, perhaps you should stop trying to recite your apology. A true apology comes from the heart, and it doesn't need to be rehearsed. Ariel knew that she could not return to the palace and face her father with the shiny golden thing stuck on her wrist. Although Ariel and Flounder did not know the name or function of the key that belonged with the bracelet, Flounder had an idea. He thought maybe the little piece could help Ariel remove her bracelet. Hey, Ariel, he said excitedly, maybe that other little piece that got lost can help you. Flounder, you're a genius, cried Ariel. All I have to do is swim down into the abyss and get it. No, Ariel, wait, Flounder pleaded, but it was too late. Suddenly, there was a loud sound of water whooshing all around Ariel. Within moments, she felt herself being twirled around and around in a giant whirlpool. Flounder looked on in terror. Ariel, he cried, what's happening? It's a whirlpool, cried Ariel. Flounder, go get help! Flounder watched helplessly as his friend got swept down deep into the abyss. Ariel, he cried. Ariel kept spinning down and down when suddenly, wham! She landed on the top of a hard object and was thrown across the ocean floor. What was that? She said out loud. Feeding time, replied a voice behind her. What? Said Ariel, spinning around to face one of the strangest looking creatures she had ever seen under the sea. My name's Barda, said the creature, and that thing over there is a flow monster. Whenever he gets hungry, he creates a whirlpool and sucks in whatever gets in the way. Count yourself lucky. You must not be his favorite flavor. Otherwise, you'd be somewhere in his digestive tract right now. How do I get back home? Asked Ariel. You don't, Barda replied. matter-of-factly. "We're all stuck. By the way, nice bracelet." "Nice what?" asked Ariel. "Bracelet. The thing around your wrist. I collect things like that. It keeps me busy." Suddenly, Ariel found herself face to face with a creepy creature holding a bag. "Psst," said the creepy creature. "What's the matter, dear? Lost and alone? Come on over here and look inside my bag." "Stay away from her," whispered Barda. "She'll eat anything, including you and me." Soon, Ariel found herself surrounded by all sorts of eerie creatures, staring and grabbing at her. She felt as if she wanted to stay as close to Barda as possible. "How am I ever going to get out of here?" she wondered quietly to herself. "What's your rush?" asked one of the other creatures. "Stay with us," hissed another. Meanwhile, high above Ariel, Flounder rushed as fast as his little fins could carry him back to the palace. He swam right into King Triton's private quarters without even asking permission. "Ariel!" Flounder panted to the king. "It's Ariel! We were swimming over a huge abyss when this big whirlpool sucked her down into the abyss, and then—" "Flounder!" Triton interrupted. "Take me there as fast as you can." And off they went, Sebastian following close behind. Soon, Flounder led King Triton and Sebastian to the edge of the huge abyss that had swallowed the Little Mermaid. "I'm going down there to get Ariel," said King Triton as he swam into the abyss. "Ah!" shouted Flounder, who had gotten too close to the whirlpool and was being sucked in. "What about me?" cried Sebastian. He was caught in the flow too. Soon, all three were careening down, down, down into the whirlpool. As they approached the bottom of the whirlpool, King Triton used all of his strength to aim his trident towards the invisible source of the powerful water flows. Finally, he caught a glimpse of the sharpened teeth and powerful flow monster. Aiming his trident carefully, King Triton managed to distract the hungry monster just enough to allow Flounder, Sebastian, and himself past it. Once they had safely moved beyond the flow monster, King Triton and his companions found themselves in the same lost souls that Ariel had encountered earlier. "Ariel!" called King Triton desperately. He was afraid his little mermaid had been swallowed by the flow monster. "Daddy?" cried a little voice. "Is that you?" Just then, Ariel swam out of a small cavern with Barda close behind. "Ariel!" cried King Triton, giving his daughter a big hug. "We were afraid that we would never—" "We're glad you're okay," said Flounder, smiling. "We were worried," added Sebastian. "Now let's go home," said King Triton. Excuse me," interrupted Barda. "You're not going anywhere. No one can get out of this place. The flow monster only sucks creatures down into this gloomy place. He doesn't let them back out. We're all stuck here. Forever." "This flow monster," asked King Triton. "Is he feeding now?" "No," said Barda, "but you have to be really strong and swim fast to be able to get by him before he begins his next whirlpool." "I think I can do that," said King Triton. "Come on, Ariel, Flounder, Sebastian, hold on to my beard. We're getting out of here." "What about Barda?" asked Ariel. "Nah," said Barda. "I've gotten used to it down here. I think I'll stay." "Thanks, Barda," said Ariel. "I won't forget you." Then the powerful King Triton swam up with all of his might and brought Ariel, Flounder, and Sebastian right up out of the abyss. "Hooray!" cried Flounder. "Let's go home." "No, wait," said Ariel, swimming quickly away. "I have to do one last thing." Ariel swam over to the ledge where the golden key still rested and picked up the small object. Then the little mermaid found a place on her wrist, the ornament, where the key fit right in. She inserted the key and turned it. The bracelet magically slipped right off her wrist. "It worked!" she cried. Then she grasped the bracelet and the key in her hand and threw them down into the abyss. "Thank you, Barda," she whispered. Just then, another whirlpool began. "Ariel, get away from there! It's starting its whirlpool again," cried King Triton. He pulled his daughter close to him and swam her to safety. As Ariel and King Triton swam back toward home together, they watched the golden human things get sucked down into the abyss. Why did you put yourself in danger again like that? King Triton asked angrily. Because I wanted to send the human ornament down to Barda to thank him for helping me, Ariel answered. And beside, I don't need any more human ornaments. I'm happy with my mermaid ornaments. King Triton smiled at his little mermaid. He knew she would soon be on looking for human treasures again. But for now, she was safe, and that was all that mattered. Back at the palace, Ariel turned to her father. You are great, Daddy, she said. You saved us all. I don't feel great, the king replied. Why not? Asked Ariel. Ariel, I feel, the king sighed. I feel that I've let you down. From now on, I promise to listen more carefully and spend more time with you. Thank you, Danny, said Ariel, and she gave her father a great big hug. I'd really like that. Okay, we'll just save the other two stories for later. I really want to take a break and drink water and stuff. Okay, so I'll do this again next time. Maybe I'll be a different character. Bye.